was really show my phone number twice. You know, I can't get one show consistent. Good morning and welcome to Wired Wednesday. This is your host, McKinnon Hansen.
You sure want to put your name on out there?
I totally do. Absolutely. Anything that I do, for good or for bad, is a lesson learned, and I need to be held accountable for that. And this is actually a really good lead into today's show. In studio today, we have Thane Marshall, Brand Inspector for Iron County, Washington County, and Beaver County.
Not Washington County.
Oh, Beaver.
But I'm the supervisor over the Southern District, so my area is from Spanish Fork to St. George, from Blanding to Callio.
But I could understand why I just want to deal directly with Washington County.
Well, I mean, it is becoming very interesting down there.
By the way, did you hear my prediction? You probably did the other day.
Mm.
Because we know the Wasatch Front's a big pile of poop now.
Oh, man. On so many levels.
So,
I think it'll come, like, up to the Black Ridge and, like, splash, but I don't think it'll, like,
my prediction
penetrate.
for the next part of the state to turn blue? Washington County.
Let's hope not. Let's hope that we still have enough. Well, I'll put it out there. I'm not afraid of purple, okay? An equal blend of sites. That's why we exist, right? And I'm not scared of one kind of taking over another, but mostly morals and ethics, right? Which have waned so much. And accountability.
In our society, come on.
Right, and then an accountability, right? Like, if you're going to put it out there that the Bible's bad, please say your name. Like, let's attack everything, but let's put our name on it.
Well, you know, and as a coach, I don't know if you guys know this, I'm the head football coach at Milford High School too, along with my other jobs.
Oh, cool.
But, you know, and see these kids come through the system nowadays is so much different than the kids come through. There is no accountability anymore for ththese kids. You know, it's just like I was listening to you guys coming in about the playing games to the tournaments. You know, it goes back to let's give everybody a trophy. Let's pat everybody on the back. If you lose, you lose. You learn from it. You know, there was a great article in the Richville Reaper yesterday about a kid that's his high school career is over playing basketball, and he won it as a junior. As a senior, they got beat in the finals. And, you know, the kid said, I probably learned more lessons from the loss than I did from the win.
Right, but we're depriving people by not holding them accountable for those different lessons. So in today's show.
Speaking of putting names on things.
Well, right, but I mean, I love what I do. Yes, insurance is boring. Everybody doesn't like insurance. I get it. It's just as bad as taxes.
I read my policy every day. Every
day. Of how much money you pay and how much you resent it.
Oh, wait, Dr. T is now an official liar out here because I don't read my
Well, but even still, it's not that I love the interaction and I love being able to help people, right? I love the interaction that I get with the community, with livestock producers, with hay producers, with all the ag type individuals. I love working with them because, if anything, I know enough about the devil in the details. And I'm not saying I know everything. I know enough about the devil in the details to make sure policies are set up right, to protect our community, you know, for the policies that I deal with, right? But I'm held accountable to that. When it's wrong, and my clients call me out on it, and I'm grateful for it, right? So when it's springtime, like it is now, and by the way, just
for a minute anyway,
in a head count, in like a quick count, there are 7 weeks of weathery Wednesdays. Today we're getting snow. So I'm going to count that. So 6 out of 7 weeks we have had snow on Wired Wednesday, which I just absolutely love. So, you know, it is, you know, I don't mind it, you know, I'm ready to start gardening.
The snow's not, because whatever we get from now on, it's like here today, gone tomorrow, so that's fine.
Right.
But I'm ready to say goodbye to the single digits and the teens, and frankly the 20s are starting to irritate me just a little bit.
Well, it all works out, and this is the best time for livestock producers because they're getting all the new babies in. The sheep are starting to be shorn so that I did say that right. Did I say that right? Shorn. And then, yeah. And then they'll start having more lambs. And I mean, we're in lambing and calving season, and it's critical right now that everybody's paying attention.
The calving season has been brutal statewide this year.
I bet it has.
With the weather that we've had, there's been a severe loss of baby calves this year. A lot of them been froze to the ground when they come out, and it's just been, and up north they're still battling snow, and it's, there was, I went to a bull sale there in Gib Yardley's place, and there was a guy that I played football with, the Matthews family from Idaho, and the guy showed me a video. He's going out checking his cows, and the snow was to the belly of his horse.
Oh my!
And they're calving, and it's like,
And we're not done down here. I'm looking at the southern Utah mountain forecast for today, tonight, and tomorrow. 6 to 12 inches tonight, 6 to 12 inches tomorrow.
yeah,
Right.
on top of record fall.
On top of that.
Yeah.
Well, no, and
So
I'm not
don't worry,
saying,
Chris. We're going to get back above that 300% mark.
and I'm not saying like that this is ideal seasons, but people paying attention to calving season and lambing season, especially with our growth in population and the different people moving in that aren't necessarily aware of the different livestock things. Thane, what are some critical things that people need to know about spring production?
Spring production, the babies are going to be laying by the fence, laying by the road. Mama's not going to be around because she's over to what us ranchers call Mills on Wheels. You pull out there with the truck and honk the horn, and here comes the cows. Well, Mama's laid the baby calf down, or the baby lambs. The ewes have laid the baby lambs down. They're not abandoned. They belong to somebody, and even if they are abandoned, you don't have the right to stop and pick them up.
It's theft.
It is theft, and And it seems like we beat this every year, but we have new people moving in all the time. I mean, there's so much growth going on that it's crazy that, and there are places that are designated livestock trails. Like 2 days ago, I had an appointment in Paraguna, and I was going through the gap. Well, I get halfway through the gap. If I wouldn't have known that there was a sheep herd in front of me, I mean, if you pay attention to the road, you can tell there's a sheep herd in front of you.
Yeah.
Because you come around one of them turns in the gap road, and you guys are probably familiar with the gap road and the S turns. They're kind of blind turns.
Yeah.
There's a herd of sheep all over the road. So if you're not paying attention to your surroundings, you could have just plowed. And the sad part about this, you'd have plowed through the sheep herders first before you got there. So, and the sheep herder, the guy that was going with the sheep, he got on his horse, moved the sheep to one side, and I got through. Well, him and the Great Pyrenees dogs, those dogs are amazing, and people are always calling, oh, this dog's been abandoned. No, that dog was raised with the sheep, and those sheep think that dog is theirs, and then that dog thinks them sheep are theirs. So they're going along and they're taking care of those sheep and things like that. But we have trouble with, and this year was really bad, and we had one case where a lady stopped and put a blanket over top of a baby calf that was just born. The mom was off getting water. Luckily, the mom come back and took the calf. Sometimes when you intervene and put your scent on that calf, the mom, they don't go by looks. They don't go by anything else. They go by smell.
Right. Completely agreed.
Yeah. And, but the thing I really want to touch on today is people on social media are so mean. And they don't even know what they're talking about, and they're being mean to these people. This lady posted it on Facebook so that it could get to the right owner, and this and that, and that was, I thought that was very admirable of the lady that.
Are you talking about the lady with the blanket?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so but there were so many people that got on there and hate and just ragged on her that you shouldn't do this, you should that. Maybe she shouldn't have, but she probably saved that calf's life. And if the ranchers are like my cow herd, I've lost quite a few this year just because they either didn't get up and clean them off quick enough, or they froze to the ground before they could get up, or just odds and ends. But every rancher's gone through that this year, and and then there was another case where out in Burl area that a lady's cow, she has two. She posted on there that she has 2 cows and a Jersey bull. Well, no brands. So they got out, went over on the neighbors and spent the night on the neighbor's lawn, just laying there. And, you know, and if you've ever had a cow in your yard, you know what kind of damage they do. So the inspector went over and took him back to her and kind of explained to her. And she put this on Facebook just so that other people could learn from her mistake, so to speak. Well, and she said, the brand inspector told me that I need to do this, and do I need to get my calves that I get from the dairy branded? And this guy goes on there, well, your inspector should have told you this better and explained it better. If the calf's sucking the mom, you don't have to have a brand. Well, she just said on there that the cow was showing the cow and the calf, but it wasn't. The calf come from the dairy. It didn't come from the cow. So, you know, look, people
Pay attention, read the details.
Yeah, you know, and they just need to be nice. As, you know, look at, you hear us reporting about the Tennessee thing and all this stuff. You know, you never know when it's your last. Be the reason somebody smiles during the day instead of the reason that somebody doesn't like to be.
Let's take it back just one step. You're saying give people grace?
I'm saying be the reason somebody smiles.
Right, but in that same breath, it's incredible where people are so critical of each other, especially in today's day and age, right?
Yeah.
We're not giving enough grace for people not knowing, right? So, and that's the primary reason of Wired Wednesday, right?
Yes.
We try to educate people beyond general knowledge. That's it. That's the whole gamut. And I try to bring on guest hosts, just as yourself, so we can push the information out there and get better information out there, right?
Yeah.
We are not attacking anybody who has helped livestock or has attempted to help livestock. All we're trying to do is, there's mamas and babies out there. If you are truly concerned with them, sit there for 4 or 5 hours and just watch them. The producers, I promise you, the producers are visiting their herds every 4 to 6 hours right now, if not sooner, or having help come in between. If you are truly concerned, sit there and watch, learn, take time.
See, that's a different prospect from we have the radio station here, where if it's been off for 4 or 5 hours, you might want to give us a call. Because
well, I mean, right. There's different cyclicalness to the different businesses out there, right? But at the same time, you know, whether the ladies or the men or the whoever get involved with the different aspects of intervening with livestock, they never have a cold heart about it.
Right.
And we're not getting mad at you guys. We're just trying to educate.
And the biggest thing I could say about that is everybody's got a smartphone, just about anymore. Thank goodness they didn't. Thank goodness I'm older than Google and older than the internet, so that when I was growing up, all the stupid things I did didn't end up on social media, you know. But the thing about it is look up the local brand inspector. Call that local brand inspector. Tell him where you're at, and he will get a hold of that rancher and that ranch. Because lo and behold, we kind of know our area. That's why we have our area. We are actually state inspectors. We can inspect anywhere in the state of Utah. But in our area, if you can get a ear tag number, a brand is hard to read in the middle of the winter because of all the hair. But if you could get an ear tag color in Beaver County, if you give me an ear tag color, I can almost narrow it down to 2 or 3 different ranchers. I can give them a call and say, are you calving at this area? You have a calf that's laying there that the people are concerned that the mamas are not around.
Right.
You know, you might want to go out and check them.
This is good information because for the woman with the blanket and others, and frankly, I would like to see that I'm on this list. If I see an animal suffering, I want to do what I can to have that suffering go away.
Right, and agreed. And that's why I, especially during calving season, and lambs are a little different because they're, you know, typically lambing out in a shed and doing all of that. But in calving season, sit there and wait and watch. Like, and if it really stops breathing, then intervene. But up until that point, sit and wait and watch until you are way past it. Or sit down and look at Google. What do I do with lost livestock? You know, lost livestock ? Google all of that. Google will tell us who to contact. The livestock inspectors, the brand inspections, the different people. The sheriff's office knows how to contact Thane. You know, the police department. If you called Cedar City PD and said, hey, there's some livestock on Lund Highway, although that's not their district, but you know what I'm saying, then they could be like, oh yeah, we need to call Thane. You know, type of an interaction rather than taking them, which is theft, right? And especially with the loss of mortality this year, livestock, like the numbers per calf are increasing, unfortunately. Like it's not a good math number, but each calf is worth more and more due to the survival rate, and we're already going through, some cyclicalness with, meat cycles and different things. But I mean, and this kind of leads into another good point is eventually all of the beef raised in this area make it to some feed yard that make it back to our grocery stores, right? So if we can increase the mortality rate by not interfering, or calling the appropriate people to check on their livestock or whatnot, then eventually those rates and those meat rates come back to our own local grocery stores.
Right. And when you're driving through open range and you see cows and calves, slow down. Because I can guarantee you one thing, the cows might not run in front of you, but this baby calf over here has got mama's on the other side of the road, so he doesn't even know that car's, he's going to run right in front of that car. I went to Delta the other day to train a new employee, and I'll bet I counted 6 baby calves dead on the side of the road that people had run over. Just because they don't have enough common courtesy just to slow down a little bit, because, I mean, they really don't care because the calf's going to hit their bumper, so to speak, like it hit the jackrabbit. But the cow now, they're going to slow down for the cow because they're going to put a little bigger. But, that calf that somebody hit, if it grows out to be 600-700 pounds, it's going to be $1,100-1,200. So, that's what you're taking away from that local rancher if you hit that calf, is you're taking away $1,200 right out of his pocket.
Well, and that goes into another huge thing, especially with the area population, the area growth. Know the roads you are on.
Yes.
Whether you're in open range or in private lands.
I know one road that's always open range. It's a thrill to drive.
Ooh.
The road to Rachel.
56. Yeah. All of 56 to the 93 and down. That is most all public land.
I'm talking about when you get off 93 and you head out to...
When you go up instead of down?
When you go out to the little alien and all that stuff out at Rachel.
Yeah.
That's all open range. And a couple of close calls out there.
Right. Well, I mean, the entire, unless it is subdivided, really, Highway 56, Lund Highway, I call it the in-between road of the Gap and Lund Highway, the in-between out there, the Gap Road, even up into Paraguna and those different areas. Anything not the freeway is open range when you're driving cattle and back and forth.
Well, and it's not only livestock this year. With the heavy snows that we've had,
I had to laugh.
It's pushed all the way out.
I had to laugh when I was watching the news the other day, and everyone was stunned. Hey, that elk herd we moved came back down. Well, I go, well, of course they're going to come back down, you idiots. They're looking for food, and you moved them back up before the winter was done.
So, really quick story.
Did you hear that story?
Yes, I did.
I go, that's just funny.
So, on a heavy snow year just like this, one of my producers dropped hay in the lower part of his range because that's where his cows were. They were actually in the summer range, not the winter range, or vice versa or something. And now he calls the cows Democrats because they always just want to be fed. They never go back up into the mountain and actually find the feed. And he calls them, I'm going to go feed the Democrats. So just a quick snow of when the snow gets too heavy and you end up feeding.
Well, and it goes back to us building and people moving in and all this stuff. We're taking away all these animals place where they usually winter. So where do we expect them to be? I mean, and what better place for them to be on I-80? That's going to get some attention.
Right,
down here in southern Utah, that's not going to, oh, well, you guys could deal with that. But it comes down on I-80 and starts affecting that city, Utah from the point of the mountain up, it's going to affect it. I mean, we got 60 head of elk in the pass here from Cedar to Myersville.
Oh, really? Wow.
And a deer's not going to come through but you better slow down because if you chop an elk's legs off, they're going to end up in the front seat with you.
Yeah. Oh, man. Thank you so much, Thane, for joining us for Wired Wednesday. It's always a pleasure having you on. Please, everybody out there, please be aware of spring season and calving out. Don't interfere with the livestock. If you are truly concerned, please contact your local law enforcement and or Thane Marshall at
435-691-0318.
Thank you so much, Thane. This is McKinnon Hansen, your local Farm Bureau financial agent and real estate agent with the Larkin Group KW Realty, powered by Place, 435-592-2021. Thank you for joining us for Wired Wednesday.
See you, Flower?
I did. Do you want to hear it again?
No, it's okay. We're off here.
That is the first time I've ended the show saying both Farm Bureau Financial Services and the Larkin Group, and it flowed fairly well. One of these days I'll, be a professional.